listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Rob Refsnyder.
It's a lie. So you just started your show off with a lie. That's concerning.
It's truth. I'm 100% of the time. It's true 100% of the time. This continues a streak of being true. I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah.
I appreciate all that you are. And I want to talk about the evolution of you. Can I talk about the evolution of you?
Sure. How far back are we going?
So you were born.
Okay.
No, so I was doing, because I'm a pro and I do research, which means Googling Rob Refsnyder, Baseball Savant. Have you done that this year?
Yeah, it's a great website. I mean, shout out to whoever runs that. I know a lot of us use it, and it's great. You can't really hide from how you're doing anymore. It's right in your face.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't understand the new feature they have.
Which one?
The thing with the biomechanical, the stick figure thing.
Yeah.
Do you get that, or you guys? I know you get that information.
We use Hawkeye mostly, which is they have it here, and they can track how your body's been moving.
It shows like a stick figure, right?
Yeah, and it's super helpful. I mean, sometimes you're up there and you feel certain things, and then it doesn't really match up, or you do feel some things and it matches up, and then you can kind of try to correct it right away, and then you can see, if it's matching up the way you want to with your body. But we love all those tools.
I remember I remember seeing Christian Campbell in spring training, comparing him to last year. His leg was coming way in, and then in spring training, and that wasn't what he was doing before. So it's that type of thing. I'm just trying to bring the technology to the common folks.
No, it's great. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the baseball fans have gotten golf lessons, and you can track how you're swinging and things like that. It's very similar in baseball, if not even more so for us than an average golf lesson. But yeah, it's really cool. So sometimes you can get into a lot of trouble diving a little bit too deep.
Do you?
It. Yeah.
Because
not me. I mean, I understand. I had some really good teammates who, this was a long time ago, but just kind of chasing the ghost of your body, because your body changes every year. You go through injuries, your body's just changing. You're slowing down, maybe you're speeding up. So chasing a lot of fields from years past can be really dangerous, because your body's just ultimately a different body.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone says, "Well, just go back and look at video of when you were going good," but it's not that easy.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my hand pump and load changes, year to year. It was very self-taught at first, so it was very, it matched up to kind of what I wanted, and then you kind of fall into the trap of, you think it's a part of your everyday swing, and then it changes, and that goes for a lot of different things about my swing. So I do like watching video when I'm swinging, and I try not to swing too much, but just trying to match up some feels and things like that on video, but ultimately not getting too obsessed with it, because it can't be perfect, and at the end of the day, you're just up there to go in the box and compete and try to have a good at bat for the team.
So I can go to Baseball Savant and give my takeaways for you.
Yeah.
What's your takeaways from it? Because you probably look at it in a much more intelligent way than I do.
Yeah. The first year I learned about Baseball Savant was shout out to Josh Donaldson. I was teammates with him, and Donaldson was great to me. He took a lot of time to help me just talk about baseball or learn about the swing, and obviously, when Josh was MVP of that year, I think it was 2017, I think everyone studied his video and, kind of wanted to try to emulate a lot of things that Josh was doing, and ultimately you just couldn't. He was such a great athlete in the box, and he was so smart about the swing, and I feel like Josh is one of the main guys that kind of really helped drive the conversation forward about mechanics and some other things, and bat path and whatever. But he was on Savant in 21, and a lot of his stuff was bright red, and I think statistically it wasn't matching up to how well he was hitting the ball. He was hitting the ball really hard, and I just kind of basically asked him what he was looking at, and then he pulled up my page, and it looked like the Polar Express. It was it was freaking Arctic blue, and he was like, "Oh, that's really dog shit."
I've heard that before.
He was like, "Oh, that's really dog shit, man. Like, I can't believe you're a big leaguer." I'm like, "Oh man, this is really bad." But no, it was a nice, like you can actually see how you're doing, and I was not doing that great. I was doing some things okay. I think earlier in my career, I wouldn't chase outside the zone very much. I would make contact. I had pretty good strike zone awareness, which I felt like mechanically when my swing was really, really bad and I really had no idea what I was doing at times, helped me keep afloat a little bit, just because as a bench guy, I think managers want like a consistent bat and a bat that makes sense with the game. And, I wasn't chasing that much, and I was probably seeing a bunch of pitches, but, I was either walking or hitting a single, maybe backside, or hooking a ball or something, but it wasn't, there wasn't much damage. So,
But now you've jumped to this.
yeah,
It's like Mr. Heat Miser. Like,
yeah, it's
breaking off in a song right
it's
now.
a little flipped right now.
Yeah.
I think as a platoon guy, you really ultimately don't know how much you're going to be playing, when you're going to be playing, because it's really dictated for me off when a lefty starter is coming in, or a certain matchup later in the game, maybe early in the game. So ultimately, you don't really know, so you just try to prepare as much as possible every day. So I think sometimes you lose the ability to not chase as much, because the strike zone, your awareness for the strike zone is a little bit different. You're trying to feel the batter's box, kind of feel what the pitcher's trying to do to you, and ultimately know what a ball and strike is. So it's a lot going on at kind of one time. But I think the older I get, it's the more I realize some pitches I can handle, some I don't handle as well, and when to take a little bit of a chance and when to shorten up and try to drive the ball the other way. And it's just the old cliche cat and mouse game is a little bit more in play, I guess.
But I look at it, and again, please tell me if I'm full of hooey, like I don't know what I'm talking about, but it looks like you're elevating the ball more. Obviously, like pull side elevation is like couldn't be any more bright red.
Yeah.
And that obviously leads me to say, well, yeah, you've been good at doing that in the past, but now you're even better. Is there anything that you've tweaked heading in this year, or tweaked because it's the evolution of you? It comes back to that, right?
I feel like earlier in my career, I didn't know some of the pitch shapes that could help produce pulling the ball a little bit more, and leverage counts, or there's ultimately some pitchers that I go up there and I know I cannot pull this guy, and I shouldn't try to pull this guy. And but really, it sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, my stock approach, I talk to a lot of hitters I really admire and respect and look up to and study, and a lot of them are very similar, which makes me feel good about it. But I just try to hit a line drive over to the second baseman's head. I feel like you have to kind of understand if you're an under path guy, over the path guy, down and across, or up and over. So the way my body naturally positions itself is like I kind of tilt back and my head's like behind my core. So I think if a lot of the Red Sox fans watch my setup, I try to set my shoulders like they're a little bit going down, just to counteract how naturally my body sits. So earlier in my career, I would try to hit more of a line drive to center, but I would drop under the ball right away, and then my bat would be rolling up through the zone as the ball was coming in. So that created a lot of topspin to left field. And you can't hit the ball hard or you can hit the ball hard to left field, but you're not going to produce many extra base hits with a lot of topspin. So I had to learn through a lot of really good hitting coaches, kind of how my body sat, and then the Hawkeye kind of helped.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, this is probably something that you locked onto because of this technology, right?
The Edgertronic cameras really helped me study
the slow motion,
how my bat was coming, up in the zone so much. So I really try to set my shoulders pretty neutral and down, unless it's like a righty sinker guy. And I most of the time I just try to hit a nice line drive over second base. I remember watching a lot of Freddie Freeman video, and he talked about hitting like a soft line drive in BP at the shortstop, or ground ball even. For me, if I try to hit a ground ball, I get a little too across. So it's mostly a stock approach of hitting a line drive over second, and then letting some off speed pull itself. But there are times where you got to really step on a guy if he's got a great fastball, and you got to anticipate a fastball coming into you and maybe trying to drive it a little bit, or get the bat head out a little bit more. But unfortunately now the pitchers throw so damn hard that to get to a fastball, you got to anticipate a fastball, and some
more
people,
so than when you were first coming up.
Yeah, my first year was 2015, and even so in the minor leagues, the fastball velocities were not even close to what they are today, for just being honest. So you got a lot more time to see the ball and react that way. And now it's like, Dobbins' first pitch of the game was 98 the other day, and we just called him up, and he's got a lot of promise, and you just see starters like that in AAA a lot.
And no one even talks about it. Like, that's the weird thing. I remember, I always use this example that how this guy in spring training, this guy named Alan Webster, he was dropped into camp in 2013. He was just a guy from the Dodgers, and he was throwing 99, and literally that was a storyline for 4 weeks. This guy throwing 99, and going back, there's other guys, Daniel Bard, whoever. But now it's like you just said it, like Hunter Dobbins. Oh, he starts at 98. Okay.
Yeah, you have great perspective on it. You've been covering baseball a long time. It's just the velocities are just, I think, as a unfortunately a guy that's been playing for a little bit, it is, when you hear older generations talking about how the strikeouts are up and just put the ball in play, and it's, I don't think we're ultimately trying to strike out. It's just the pitch, the velocity, the inside velocity. If you have to step on it, and they're doing a great job tunneling, and they do a great job of mastering pitch shapes in the off season and making everything relatively look the same. So it's just so challenging. And then you kind of get to a point where I think baseball's gotten, I think they're right though. Like, there are too many strikeouts, but ultimately, are you going to get 3 or 4 base hits in an inning off some of this stuff? I don't know. So it's like the cat and mouse of like
the most of your
the cat and mouse of like, do you really want to step on some pitches and try to drive them, or do you want to like kind of be in between and then not have because it's so hard to be in between now. Their velocity is 75, 85, 95. Those 3 tiers. It's tough to be in between all those. But I can safely say that the pitching from when I first started to now, it's incredible, and it's only getting better.
But to come back to you is sort of, the quest as an athlete is to find the sweet spot of education, experience, and physical ability. Does that make sense? And so I know it's early in the year, but you're hitting the ball, I think, better than you ever have. All the things that you talked about, you're educated in this. And this is, I don't know if you saw this coming, or not. This is, for you, this is a great thing because of all these things, right? You're always going to get better, and you might have a couple of weeks where you don't feel great, whatever. But still, as we sit here right now, like, all these things you're talking about and your physical ability is allowing you to be the best version of yourself. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's nice for you to say all those things. But I think ultimately, like, you just... I never really had an ego about my game. I always knew I could get better and should get better. And I think when I was younger, I just listened a lot and kind of just sat in the cage and listened to a lot of people that I really looked up to and took notes, and then ultimately read those notes a lot in the off season. And I hit a lot when I was younger and when I was coming up, and I had a lot of different feels and cues and things like that, but I really didn't know, why some of those things were working at the times, and then other times it wouldn't work. But I just took a lot of notes, and in my phone or in a notebook, and then like I mentioned before, I met some really, really good coaches, and they really slowed it down and helped me start understanding how my body's set up, but what good mechanics look like, and some things I should be focusing on. And I look back at my career and I give all the credit to those people, because if I didn't ultimately meet, I can name off a bunch of people. Like in 19, I met Cody Atkinson with the Reds. I think he's the hitting coordinator, I could be wrong, with the Rangers now. Borgs, who's the hitting coach here, I met him in Minnesota. He saved my career. My career would be over if it wasn't for him. He's now the head guy with the Twins. And then Borgs and Fatsy worked together with the Twins. So that communication was great when I came here. And when I signed with the Red Sox, I had a couple teams that, they really just wanted me to fill in, and if somebody got hurt, I'd go up and have some competitive at-bats, play defense, and then, probably get DFA'd or something. But I was really, I really wanted to go to a team that thought I could get better and had tools to help me get better, and had a conversation with Pete, and I was all in. I think he really, I owe all my success here to Pete and the hitting department here.
So a year ago, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you had dabbled with the idea of not even playing going forward, right? That was about a year ago, I think. Can you remember what your mindset was and how that changed?
Well, really, it was just the conversation of last year was my last guaranteed deal with here, and then they had the team option. So it was more just, if they didn't pick up my team option, I didn't really know, what kind of interest other teams would have, if the Red Sox had interest. So it was more so that just I didn't really know the future, and I was, if no one had interest, then I'd go on and do the next thing. So, but I'm happy I'm here, and this is my last year here, guaranteed. So, we'll see what happens. But
it would be fair to say sort of where you've landed at this time of year is different from where you landed this time of year last year. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I mean, because you're doing well this year. You're proving that you're at the height of your powers. I don't know if that change, even though this is the last year of committed here, if that changes your perspective of you or not. Or is it just wait and see? It's
just wait and see. I have a lot of things outside of baseball that I'm, very happy with. My kids are getting older, and my son will be starting, school next year, so they won't be able to travel as much. But I'm just super thankful to be a Boston Red Sox. I love it here. We love the city. The fans have been nothing but great to me. So, and I love the staff here. They've treated me so fairly, and the communication's been amazing for my 4 years here. And so we'll see. I mean, I'm honestly just focused on the day-to-day stuff, and we got some lefty relievers that after this I'll prepare for and just get ready for the next task, I guess.
I've been asking some guys like Zach Eflin the other day about overcoming adversity. And I think because I've been thinking a lot about it with younger players like Christian or whoever, younger players, first time in your life you don't succeed. I don't know when that was for you, because you were a very good college player, obviously, and what that's like for a player. Do you remember, and what advice you can give to a player? Because again, a lot of times for really, really good baseball players, that comes with a third deck in the stands. You know?
You're right. I mean, I think now the average time for a lot of these guys in the minor leagues is a lot shorter. I think that happened after COVID. It kind of accelerated a lot of the development and things like that. And I think with all the tools and technology that we have now, you're seeing these just uber talented players just ascend through the ranks, just and it's really cool to see. It's but I think surrounding yourself with a lot of people with a lot of experience in baseball, whether it's in the front office or ultimately playing for a long time. I think with the organization I grew up or kind of grew with, we had a lot of really, really incredible baseball lifers that were always around.
That's
and
the Yankees.
and just always, instilling a lot of, help and advice and tips. And I knew I was at the ballpark for ultimately a long part of the day, so I would kind of just sit and listen to them and hopefully pick their brain enough where they didn't get annoyed of me and things like that. But my first year in pro ball, I didn't hit very well. It was after the College World Series.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's coming off of you raising awards.
Yeah, so it was very humbling. You think you know a little bit about hitting or how to approach and things, and then you face a lot of pitchers that have stuff that you've never even seen before. And no, it was a great experience because I learned that I just sucked and I needed to get better. And so I took all the video from that year and just.
But you had never gone through anything like that before, right? I mean,
I guess in college ball, there's before the season started, you get your shit kicked in by the upperclassmen, and you gotta just figure it out. So me and some of the other guys would go to the cage and hit for hours and hours and have a couple beers and just talk about hitting. And
see, that's there. You just summed it up.
Yeah.
That's the remedy. Go hit. Go have a couple beers. Talk through it.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's. I mean, yeah, that was a great part of college, and some of my favorite memories, just in the cage with guys who wanted to get better and had no ego about their game, and just, we still do that now.
The last thing, and I appreciate your time,
Yeah.
is the College World Series is coming up.
Yeah.
And we're here to educate and inform and offer perspective.
Mm-hmm.
For those kids going into that, like, what is it like? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of those kids, it's probably the last time they'll play baseball. So just having that perspective and enjoying the moment with a lot of guys that probably spent 3 or 4 years of your life with. So it's really special. It's a very unique time when everyone's kind of in the same phase of life. And then there's a couple guys who will ultimately be big leaguers and stars and fortunately make a lot of money in this game. So it's, but when you're there, it's just all about, trying to win a championship for your teammates and your school. So it's a very unique, special time in those guys' lives. And, just kind of taking a step back and really appreciating the moment was big for me. And I don't know, I guess I've had that, fortunate enough to have perspective, and a lot of these guys won't play baseball again, and so it means a lot for a lot of different people. And hopefully they have a head coach that was as great as mine and meant as much as mine did to me at that time, Andy Lopez. So it'll be some of the best memories of their life.
That's
That's
awesome.
really cool.
It's good. Iconic photo too.
Yeah.